One of the ways that we build a more inclusive economy is by using good industrial strategy. So we brought together at the House of Commons David Willetts, now Lord Willetts, the Metro Mayor of the West Midlands, Andy Street, Jürgen Maier, the head of Siemens here in the UK, and the chair of the Industrial Strategy Commission, Dame Kate Barker. Before our event got underway, I asked Jürgen Maier for his ideas about just why good industrial policy could help build a more equal and inclusive economy.
There's two reasons why we need industrial policy, and one reason is we live in a very and an increasingly competitive world, and we need to compete with China, America, other European nations, and therefore we need to work out, like they are, what are the right policy and support mechanisms to support business here, so that business can be more productive, can create more, innovate more, and export more. And we need to make sure we've got the most efficient and the best mechanisms. The second reason is any government, and ours very much so, has got a finite resource that they can invest. And unless you have a strategy, you just scattergun your resources, and that's never going to get you the most effective result. So you need to find ways of targeting it at the best areas that are going to give you the best return for growth, for productivity, for new jobs, and all those sorts of things. Well, absolutely, productivity is the driver for wage growth. And by the way, that's no different to a company, a small company, a large company like Siemens. You know, we're very clear about it. Unless we raise productivity year by year, you can't increase your wages. And the same applies at macro national level. You've got to drive more output for input, and then you can put more money back into the coffers to be able to pay people more. Well, the first thing I'd say is that I think it's absolutely brilliant that we have an industrial strategy, a policy document. I'm very impressed with the level of detail in it, and I think it's been quite some while since we've seen a Conservative government with such a document, so that is brilliant. I think also where it's very, very positive is in the space of especially R&D and driving innovation in some very key identifiable sectors. It's had a good go at prioritising some of our areas, the 4 grand challenges, the start of some sector deals, etc. I'd point to 2 areas where I think we need to do more. And the one is it's focused very much on innovation, but not very much on the adoption of technology. And actually, if you're going to raise productivity, you need to do both. You need to innovate and create, and at the same time, you need to accelerate the pace of adoption of technologies, which are the engines for productivity. Yeah. And unless you do both, it really doesn't happen. And at the moment, we're doing too much of one and not of the other. And the second area where I think we need to do some more work is to work out, how does the regional pieces work? How do we drive the regional prosperity out of this, especially in the Midlands, northern regions? And how does that match and mesh with this sort of governance of the national approach? And that still requires some clarity. Yeah, absolutely, yeah. And the review that I was working on and am working on in support of the industrial strategy, which is all about the 4th manufacturing industrial revolution, we've called it Made Smarter, that identifies very clearly that especially our small to medium-sized businesses in the UK are A, not getting as much support as they would be in other industrial nations, and B, they are, for some other factors, just not adopting these technologies. So I give you an example. In Germany, Industry 4.0 type technologies, industrial Internet of Things, additive manufacturing, about 50% of SMEs say they are beginning the journey of adopting those technologies. In the UK, it's 10%. It's a massive difference. And by the way, Germany feels that 50% is a disaster, and we're at 10%. So we need to do something quite dramatic to improve that rate of adoption, and we haven't quite sorted that out yet. Yeah, we do, and actually the Made Smarter review goes to identifying some of those. And there are two key things that I would point to. One is that our business support mechanisms are badly organised and subscaled. Give you an example. We looked in Cheshire, just one region, and we found 130 business support mechanisms. Now you multiply that and have a look at how many there are in Bristol or anywhere else, and we have got literally hundreds if not thousands of these, but none of them are scaled, and it's a confusing platform. So we need to create a business support mechanism that is much better scaled, that people know where to go, and then they actually get proper, decent advice on how they can adopt these technologies. And then the second thing you need to do is to create a much stronger ecosystem, which are innovation ecosystems where people can come and play, de-risk these technologies offline and then implement. We've started that journey with, for example, the high-value manufacturing catapults, which are brilliant, but again, they are not at the scale that we need to, and they don't offer enough playgrounds, demonstrators we call them, technology demonstrators, where people can come and literally play. What does robotics mean to my manufacturing company in Blackburn? That's the level we need to be getting to, and the industrial strategy is not that practical yet.